every single day. Peyton is taking a nap step forward, which is really, really good. So he's getting more comfortable every day in the offense. So he's done a really good job in terms of learning practice habits. You can tell by his demeanor in practice that he's getting comfortable in every day.
Deshaun hasn't played. He's just a redshirt freshman, but he's probably going to need to play. What makes him game ready at this point, you think?
I think just his practice habits and his meeting habits, that when he goes into, whether it's scrimmages or practice situations, that everybody trusts him because he knows what to do, and then he goes in there and operates at a high level. So that's kind of gaining the trust of the coaches and also of his teammates as well.
Coach, how have you seen Cam Seldon's recovery go, and how have you seen him attack the day despite being injured?
He's been doing a really good job. He's day by day in terms of him in the means of attacking it, in practice doing the things that he's able to do. But he's done a really good job in terms of putting himself in a situation to where he's mentally focused, and then his practice habits are good as well.
Just sort of following up on Peyton, what obviously you didn't get to see him this spring. What does he look like out there, and what do you like about his skill set from what you've seen in scrimmage play and things like that?
Yeah, I think when you sit up there and look at Peyton, you look at, number one, how big he is when he put the shoulder pads on. Like, he looks like a grown man. Number two, you see the explosive characteristics that he has about him. He's able to break tackles, you know what I'm saying, and continue to go +2 pass contact. But then at the same time, when he's able to get in the open field, he's a guy that can take it the distance. And he's not scared to put his face on people in pass protection. That's the number one deal that you see from a young guy. Sometimes it's not necessarily how physical they're going to be, and understanding where to go. But, like, he's physical. He'll go put up his face on people. And then at the same time, he knows what to do. So he's done a really good job from that standpoint.
Coach, Deshaun's not your average walk-on. So like, when you got here, what did you know about him, and what have you found about his mentality? Because in high school, he always just carried himself with such a confidence.
So, number one, you could tell the confidence factor when you get a chance to meet him. I recruited Deshaun a little bit at a previous institution, so I already kind of knew his background. And then his work ethic. Like, when you walk in the building and you see this guy walk into the weight room, how he attacks it, when he walks into the meeting room, no matter if it's special teams meeting, team meetings, or position meeting, he always has his notebook. He always is taking really, really good notes, and he asks really good questions. And then when he attacks it on the field, he's going to be the first guy out there. You know what I'm saying? He's always going to be the last guy to leave because he's always getting extra work in. So his mentality is a bulldog mentality in terms of he's going to attack it every day.
Coach, Dylan has waited kind of a couple of years to be the older guy in the room. And, with you trying to manage him with the depth there, how hard has it been kind of to hold him back this month from, kind of chomping at the bit?
Yeah, you kind of tell him, like, hey, you understand what's going on. You know what to do. Coach up the younger guys. Like, we understand what you can do. Let's make sure we're sharpening your tools in the toolbox. But he's always ready to go in every situation. He wants to take all the reps. So that's when we just have to manage him.
Now that you've had a few practices under your belt here, what's kind of been the difference working under Heupel compared to past stops, and how do you feel as your first year's underway?
You know what? It's been really good. I think the thing that jumps off to you is, the competitive aspect of the practice, how high tempo it is, how everybody is flowing and everybody's kind of moving in the same direction. But when it's time to put the ball down and spot it, both sides are highly competitive, which is really, really good. And it gets competitive from the coaches as well, which is good. So it's iron sharpening iron every day here, which is phenomenal.
Kind of a follow-up on Samson. That balance you spoke on, like kind of what goes into that, making sure he's fresh for the season, knowing he's already done it, and when he is kind of held back, what is he still doing to kind of get better every day?
Coaching up the guys. He's sitting up there taking mental reps. When he's sitting up there on the sideline, when he's taking his reps, when he's not in on that drive, he's doing a really good job of seeing and envisioning what's getting ready to happen. And then if he sees something from the younger guys that's in there, he's the first one to go attacking and coach them up and kind of giving them some pointers on, hey, if, this presents itself again, here's some things that you can do to kind of help yourself out. So he's been a really, really good leader from that standpoint.
Coach, I know he's not in your position, but just from an observer, what's it been like watching Nico go through this process? Because he doesn't seem like a guy that's never, been the starter before. He seems ready for it. I guess.
Yeah.
What's your impression?
I'm very impressed with him. The way he goes out there and commands the whole entire offense, he doesn't get flustered. When things kind of break down a little bit, he don't get frustrated. So you see the leadership qualities about him. And then you see the arm talent, the different arm angles that he's able to get the ball out, the way he's able to present the ball down the field, and then when he escapes the pocket as well, he's dangerous from a running standpoint as well. So I think he holistically is a really, really good person and a really, really good player as well.
Building off of Dylan Sampson, obviously last year he was known to be explosive and speedy. How have you seen his power increase and breaking through that first point of contact?
You know, you kind of look at his body, how his body has changed over the summer. He's put on really good weight. And then he does a really good job on second effort, you know, not allowing one guy to bring him down, exploding for +2 pass contact, which we talk about all the time. So the extra weight gains that he's put on in a good way has helped him tremendously, and and it hasn't made him lose one step of speed or quickness that he has. So that's been good.
What does Khalifa Keith bring to the table, and what's kind of been the focus this offseason for him?
I think with Khalifa, you sit up there and you look at a guy that's 230 pounds, that's explosive, you know what I'm saying, in terms of his first 20 yards. He does a really good job of running behind his pass. He does a really good job of putting his face on people in pass protection. I think Khalifa is totally different from where he was in the spring, holistically. I think in the spring, you know, mentally, he knew what to do, but he was trying to think too much instead of just cutting it loose and going out there and playing. Like right now, he's actually going out there playing. He's cutting it loose. He's maximizing his runs. When there's nothing there, he's going in there, banging it up in the line of scrimmage, trying to run through the smoke and doing a really good job of getting us either some positive gains or helping us stay out of negative yardage situations.
When you've talked about this a little bit with a couple guys individually, but collectively as a group, where do you feel your group is with pass pro and all that?
I feel like right now we're doing a really good job. You know, number one, it always starts with identification process, understanding who the mic point is, and then, you know, understanding who we have off of that. I think fundamentally is something that you always can continue to get better at, because sometimes guys know who to get, and then they go in there so aggressive. It's kind of like a bull in the china shop mentality just a little bit. But they've done a really good job of sticking their face inside, making sure they're keeping the quarterback upright. And we haven't had too many busts in terms of pass protection this camp, knock on wood.
How have you seen the running back group kind of evolve when it comes to the passing game, as this offense really likes to get them involved in the pass game?
You know what? They've done a good job in terms of taking the opportunities that they've given on the perimeter when we're able to get the ball in their hands. You know, all of them bring a different skill set from that aspect, but all of them have reliable hands to where we're able to put the ball in their hands on the perimeter. And then it's all about, you know, what you do after the catch, you know, the yards after the catch that come with it. But they've all done a good job of putting themselves in situations to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield.
Coach, one more on Deshaun. He obviously didn't play last season with the injury. You've seen him in practice every day in camp, going back to spring. How would you sort of describe how he is as a running back?
I think when you look at Deshaun, like, he's kind of your throwback football player from a mentality standpoint. Like, he doesn't get flustered. You know, he does a really good job. He has his routine in terms of his body maintenance. He does a really good job when he comes out here and attack. He's very, very hard on himself. So if he makes a mistake, like, he's frustrated with himself. But it doesn't affect him on the next play. And then when he get in there, he does a really good job running behind his pads. He's quick, you know what I'm saying, in between the tackles. He got really good short area quickness. His acceleration is good. You know, he has good hands out of the backfield. He knows the things that he needs to fine-tune and kind of work on. But, like, for me, in terms of what I look at with him, I see him as a, you know, old-school throwback player. You know what I'm saying, to where it's like that that guy that you can just keep hitting and hitting and hitting, and he just keeps getting stronger and stronger as the game goes along. Appreciate it.